Hello, welcome to another Robots Retro Spaces Porsche edition. This will be my last one for the year. It's starting to get a bit cold here in London, and working on the car in this weather it's not as fun as it is in summer. So I just had a few things that I wanted to get done before I shut up shop for the rest of the year, which I'll talk you through today. Today was a nice sunny day. Even though it was a bit cold, so I decided to take advantage of the weather and get these things done. It's been quite a bit of a trek for the last 3 weeks, waiting for parts and also doing things in stages. So the first thing I did was I changed the fuel injector lines and the HT leads. Did that like maybe three weeks ago. Drained the oil, and then 2 weeks ago built a shed, because I very quickly realised that there's not enough room in this tiny London garage to put all the stuff that's going to come off this car, so I built a shed, and this is it. And I did that last weekend. I did that last weekend, before last actually, and then I painted it last weekend. And then this weekend was finishing off the stuff that I had started. So I changed the rotator arm for the distributor. I changed the points for the distributor, because I changed the cap when I changed the HT leads. And today I also fitted the sump, and I got new washers for the sump, and I also put in the new oil, which was Miller's oil, which I did a bit of research and turned out that was the best one. So today was quite an interesting day. It was like the culmination of like I said, 3 or 4 weeks worth of work. And when I turned the car on, this is what it sounded like. That was only after I had done the oil. What I did next was I changed the rotator arm and the distributor cap, bearing in mind I'd already changed the distributor cap a couple of weeks ago, and I changed the points in the distributor, and this is what it sounded like. The car has not sounded so good. The car sounded nice. I still don't know exactly what it should sound if it sounds perfect, but that's the best my car has sounded. There was a lot less smoke. There was even a little bit of white smoke, but I'm not worried about that, because that for me was condensation in the exhaust pipes, because I don't think that all the cylinders were firing properly, hence in the past all the misfires and that sort of stuff. So I actually think that it was running better than it has done, and I was really happy about that. Now, I've been getting really good pressure in the engine. So beforehand, when I had the old oil, I actually got some movement in my in my dials after I actually managed to fix them. But I wasn't quite sure about the movement. It seemed to be just like quite a lot. But today, well, after I changed the oil, I got movement that was very consistent with the general rule of thumb of 1000 revs equals 1 bar, and then it shouldn't really go above the middle of the fuel pressure gauge, and that's pretty much what happened today. So I was very, very happy about that. What I'm not so happy about, but also not upset about, is that I used my infrared heat gun and was just trying to get a reading on my oil temperature gauge, but I could not get my oil temperature up past 110 Fahrenheit, and the gauge starts at 120. And I wasn't going to go any higher than that, because when I was measuring the temperature on the engine, I was getting under the car. Admittedly, I did not have really good access under the car, and trying to measure the heat in the individual cylinders. And on cylinders 1, 2, 3, I had pretty even heat. They were sort of up around 180. But on the other side, 4, 5, and 6, I had around 150. And that was a little bit concerning for me, because if they were all low, fine. If they were all high, fine. But having one side hot and one side cold, I don't know. It could have been my measurements, but what that meant is that I didn't have an opportunity to really get the oil up to temperature, to the point where I could see if my gauge was working, which is what I really wanted to do. But I figured, no harm, no foul. There's no real issues there for now, so I figured I'd get my uncle to come in, because he told me to call him after I'd done this work and have a look at the car. So I'll get him to come and look at the car now that I've made these changes, which I think will be quite good. Ultimately though, I'm not really that concerned, because what I have now is I have an engine that runs really well. It doesn't backfire. It might not be perfect, but the engine will probably have to be rebuilt anyway. And so I'd always factored that possibility into the car and into what I was going to do about the car. So ultimately, I decided that I would, if I had to do that, then I had to. But if I didn't, I didn't, and that's okay. But I do know that my engine is a very solid engine from which to do a rebuild, and that is a very positive piece of news. So that was all of today. Now the other thing I've been working on over the last week is trying to get some parts. Now the car has no cold start system. There's no blower, there's no pipes, there's no baffles, heat exchangers I should say. The heat exchangers under the car are almost like sports ones, keeping in line with the fact that the car, I believe, was raced. So there's no heat exchangers on the baffles. So I've been looking about what's the best way to try and manage this. And so what I decided to do was buy parts. And I found on Facebook a guy who had basically a giant warehouse of second-hand Porsche parts in Belgium. And this is what I bought from him. So that cost me €900, and I'm having it shipped to my friend Florian in Amsterdam, and we're going to Christmas in Amsterdam, and I'm going to pick them up from him at Christmas. So I'm really hopeful that it'll be good. Just so you know, the heat exchangers, they were £350 for 2. So the way I kind of see it is that if I bring them here, I get them sandblasted, I get them rust treated, and then I have some minor repairs done if there's any that need to be done. I'm told that there isn't, and I spend, let's say, £250, then I'm still ahead, because when I have a genuine Porsche heat exchangers on my car, but 2, and more importantly, if I were to buy just one side new from an aftermarket supplier, that would be £600. So I don't really think I can come out too badly here. So I'm feeling fairly positive that I might be able to get away with this. So hopefully that'll work out, and these parts will work out. And if they do, then I know that this is probably what I'll do for parts moving forward. So while that stuff is coming, the thing that can obviously be done about the car is getting to work on the body. So like I said, I don't really plan on doing much between now and Christmas, but I am probably going to get the windows taken out, so that I can fix some rust on the rear window, and also, and probably more importantly, get the trims off, because they need to go away, and they need to be buffed up to what they could be or could have been in the past. So that's kind of where we're at. I have a car that's running better than it ever has, at a cost, because the HT leads are 180. It's 180 for the fuel injection lines. Those were the two big expenses actually. The other bits and pieces only sort of came up to like $150, so pounds, sorry. So that wasn't so bad. I did splash out, and I did buy a genuine Porsche toolkit for a 1976 Porsche. I bought it brand new from Porsche, so it is genuine. I couldn't resist it, because one, it had two tools in it that I needed. One was the spark plug tool, and number two was the fan pulley tool or alternator tool to get the fan pulley off, so I can change the belt on the fan. So I buckled, and this is what it looks like. It looks so nice. You can smell the leather. You can smell the leather from like ages away. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's quite an inspiring piece to have, actually. So yeah, so that's it. Car's running better than it ever has. Bunch of parts coming to deal with the cold start system. So the heat exchangers, the blower, the distribution pipes, and whatnot. And getting ready to start stripping it back. And I have a shed to put it all in. So not so bad. So once again, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and we'll catch up again in the new year. Thank you very much.